Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. We have a story here about a man who enjoys dressing up and pretending to be a woman. He also enjoys playing rugby, but only against women. This is presumably because he's not very good against men. And of course, World Rugby have banned people like him from playing against women. They're saying it's very unsafe for biological men to play against biological women. It increases their chance of injury or even worse. And so he started a GoFundMe campaign. He wants to raise £20,000 so that he can have a court case to try and overturn the decision, because for some reason he enjoys the thought of hurting women. Well, I don't think he's going to make it. That's one thing. He needs 20,000. He's got less than a week to go, and he's only raised about 6.5. But the principle is still there, that this man wants a court case to be overturning World Rugby's decision, presumably because of his little inadequacies, and he's probably his very tiny one. You know, it's like that. So he needs to feel better about himself by getting in there and hurting women. So let's have a look at this story, and let's hope he doesn't make it. So, transgender rugby player raises thousands in bid to overthrow safety laws banning players who were born male from playing against women. World Rugby banned biological men from female-only sport over safety issues, and Julian Curtis, not his real name, sent legal challenge to Rugby Union in August 2020. He has raised £6,585 of his £20,000 crowdfunder with just 7 days to go. In fact, it's 6 days now. This was yesterday afternoon. So a transgender woman rugby player, a man, has raised thousands in a bid to overthrow safety laws banning players who were born men from the female-only sport. The policy was put in place after research by World Rugby found trans women increased the risk factors for biological women by as much as 30% due to power and strength differences. It is undoubtedly dangerous to have men play physical sports against women. And I don't care what these men think. I don't care if they consider themselves to be women. They can consider themselves to be anything they like. The fact is, they are still biologically men. They still have men's power, men's musculature, men's skeletal frame, men's twitch response, men's bulk. It's all there, and it is unfair on women, and it's more than unfair on women. It's dangerous for women. And so rugby were one of the first. I mean, I congratulated them at the time. They were one of the first to come out and ban men from competing against women. And quite right too. So anyway, transgender rugby player Julian Curtis, who sent a legal challenge to the Rugby Football Union over the decision in August last year, is now raising money to fight that decision. Writing as part of his crowdfunder, he said, having begun my transition in 2016, and when they use that term, begun my transition, what they mean is I've still got my penis and testicles attached. And that's the term they used. Transitioning. I mean, the transition. No, you're still a man. You'll always be a man. And even if you have those things removed, you'll still be a man. He says, I have been accepted as female by friends, colleagues, loved ones, and most relevantly by my female rugby teammates when I started playing again in 2021 as my full self. Yeah, you're not playing against your teammates though, are you? And it doesn't matter who accepts you as a woman, you are not a woman. This decision essentially bans one population of people from playing a game. Yes, it bans men from playing against women. And if you can't understand that, then you need to give up the game entirely. Go and play against other men. Nobody will mind. He says this decision essentially bans one population of people from playing a game. And the Equality Act starts at inclusion, not exclusion. Yes, but the Equality Act is not a device that enables people to harm other people simply because of their sex. And it actually talks about specifically about sex in there. And your sex is male. And it doesn't matter what your gender is, what you call yourself, you are male. You were born male, you are male, you will die male, you will always be male. Anyway, trans women come in all shapes, sizes and ability levels, but they're all men. Just like cisgender women. The fact he's using the term cis shows exactly what he is. The word cis in any kind of concept like this is hate speech. It is identifying people, it is putting them down, and it's obnoxious term to be used. That is no different from any other kind of insult. It is an insulting term, and anyone who uses it should be castigated for it, or in his case castrated, but that's a different matter. Anyway, the new RFU policy has no nuance and instead has decided all trans women to be excluded. That's because, without fail, all trans women are men. It is difficult to see how this broad brush approach can be necessary. It's easy. Start up your own league, your trans league. Start up a trans league and others will join you. I'm sure you won't be alone. And then you can all play, all boys together. It'll be fantastic. Brighton-based Mr. Curtis has raised £6,585 of his £20,000 goal with just what's now 6 days to go. He has received the backing of Stonewall, because of course he has, who call for followers to support his fight for an inclusive rugby game. That's fine. No, you can have an inclusive rugby game and just make sure that all the people on it are inclusively men. You can all be trans men, whatever you want to call yourselves, but no way are you playing against real women. The Seaford ladies player said the community within the rugby team let him play as himself for the first time. But World Rugby warned that the forces of inertia faced by smaller and slower players during frequent collisions are much greater when they're playing against much larger, faster players. They say this can be a significant determinant in head injury factors. And this is the one case that they've got. They can argue all they like, but the facts speak for themselves. And the facts are that men playing against women is dangerous to women. In their research, transgender women, or men, were found to be up to 60% stronger, 15% faster, and of a 40% power advantage. This could not be changed by testosterone suppression, which would only reduce muscle mass and strength by between 5 and 10% at best. And so they are. All these really weird, strange people who want to hurt women are being banned from doing it, and they don't like it, do they? Anyway, Sharon Davis, the swimmer, blasted the campaign as dangerous and negligent and says the RFU must hold firm. We do like Sharon. The Olympian and outspoken supporter of women's rights competed in 3 games for Britain, winning a silver medal in 1980. She said, "I am 100% the RFU and World Rugby by putting female rugby players' safety first and fair sport second, as it should be." Now, nobody is saying that, trans people cannot play rugby, but it must be played on a fair field of sport. And so just get all the trans men players, all these weird men who like to wear woman face, most of them of whom have still got their testicles attached, and let them play a game against each other. Then everyone is happy. The women are safe, the trans men are playing a game, and the real men are laughing on the side and thinking, they're not very good rugby players, are they? Anyway, all the peer-reviewed science we have to say we cannot mitigate against male puberty advantage. It is both ignorant, but worse, dangerous and negligence to put the feelings of a male in front of all the health risks to female rugby players. A new research by the Staffordshire University found brain injury often goes underreported by women rugby players, partly due to the strong social identity shared by the teams. Women suffer a higher rate of concussions than men, often with more severe and prolonged symptoms. And experts have warned that they could be more likely to develop sports-related dementia than their male counterparts. And that is why these men need to be completely banned from ever getting on a field of sport with women, no matter how much they have hurty fee-fees. Because basically, their hurty fee-fees do not matter in the light of the damage they will do to women. I'm stopping there and coming up. So yes, in the initial one, we want him to fail to raise that £20,000. And then even if he should be lucky enough to get there, let's watch him go to court and undoubtedly lose. Because courts have a propensity for things like facts, not opinions. And the facts are that women get damaged by men in physical sport. And there's no two ways about it. A court is not going to allow a man to access a field of sport purely so that he can hurt women. It ain't going to happen. It's a non-starter. And whoever gave you the advice to even try is an idiot. And you're a bigger idiot for following it. what is wrong with having trans rugby? If you're desperate to play, then go and play against all those other trans. You know, there's no problem then. Nobody will object. Nobody objects then. You get to play your game. It's fine. Nobody's stopping you. So we have to ask, the real reason is that you want to play with and against women. We have to ask why that is. Probably because you're not very good. Anyway, there we go. These little inadequate men who need to feel special in some way. He's going to lose his case. If he gets that far, he'll probably lose his money if it doesn't. Anyway, I shall round off there. Thank you very much for listening. If you like what you're seeing here on the channel, please hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like. Please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, don't go out your way to harm women, and goodbye.